Hey, we missed week 3, but now it's week 4, and we're back with a whole new format.
That's right, and we replaced my ugly mug with just my pretty voice, and we're ready to get going on week 4.
Probably the best voice in fantasy, just add to that.
That's right.
I meant myself, and Steven too, so it's cool.
All right,
So,
well,
yeah.
let's take
Let's recap last week. What do you say?
All right, let's do it.
So, what surprises did you have? Let's look at some scores.
Okay. Really didn't see the Arizona defense do what I thought they were going to do. Ben Roethlisberger kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah, you had yourself a pretty big win. The Cardinals definitely had a part of that. You beat Shotgun 131-76. Shotgun, you're looking like a total grandma. I'm pretty sure he didn't start half of his lineup. I finally got in the win column with a close win over Doug. Thank you, Torrey Smith. R.I.P. May your brother rest in peace. Fish got a huge win over Jared. Jared's just embarrassed right now. Although 104 points, nothing to shake a stick at. But Fish just put a pounding on him.
Absolutely.
Marshall remained undefeated also with a big win over Josh.
Staying consistent. RG3 holding him up still. Had a couple running touchdowns that really helped him out. Not much in the passing game, but he definitely made for it with those few short run touchdowns. MJD did a lot of work for him too. So he's going into week 4 undefeated too.
And they're the last undefeated team. Chase getting the win over Anderson.
Yeah.
Chase remaining lucky is what I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
132 points. Again, that's some solid point totals. But Anderson had a good scoring game for a loss. That was actually the highest total for a loser. Congratulations, Anderson, on being the best loser. Goody's Headache Powder Award coming up there later this week for that. Get the man his powder already, you know?
That's right.
He's been through enough.
Yeah. He really just lacked support from the rest of his lineup. I mean, he had a big day from Roethlisberger, but that was about it.
Yeah, let's talk about who Anderson did get some support from. The big addition for the week with Pitta playing tight end. The problem is he put him on the bench. Instead, he chose to play Witten. Steven, how many points did Witten get last week?
A big old goose egg.
Yeah, kudos to you, Anderson. Let's see. Shotgun made a huge addition last week by picking up Mark Ingram. Everyone expects him to be the dominant back. He is a Heisman winner, and he's going to get all the goal line carries. How many points did he get last week?
Let's see. Another goose egg.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Well, let's talk about some additions that did help. I chose to pick up Andre Brown, seeing as Ahmad Bradshaw was going to be out with a neck injury. I chose to play Andre Brown, and he gave me 20 points. So take away that, and I lost. So, yeah. Then, of course, you picked up the Cardinals D. Kudos to you. And you chose to start them.
Yeah.
Ballsy decision there. Glad to see that paid off for you.
Yeah, I did pick up Marcellus Bennett, and definitely meant to start him. Kind of got sidetracked there, but in the long run, it didn't hurt me because it's not hard to beat 76.
Yeah. Again, Shotgun. Come on now. Like, maybe we should all just team up and help Shotgun put a team together.
We're going to need something. If not for just a week, just maybe to get the guy in the win column.
Yeah, just get him one win. Let's just pick someone like Doug or maybe Chase. Just someone that we can really give him a good team against. Maybe give him a fighting chance.
Yeah, it sounds good. I can roll with it.
Just looking at point totals, maybe if we put him against Josh, he only needs 1 point to tie Josh. So maybe they're just equally bad, and if we give Shotgun some help that day, we might put him over the top, really get him that W.
Well, I'm going to say that the 0 by Kevin Smith, the 0 by Laurent Robinson, and the 0 by the Ravens D, and even the 1 by Jordy Nelson didn't help Josh out a whole lot.
Yeah, that's some pretty terrible scoring totals.
And let's see, we left 16 on the bench for the Giants D. That didn't work out.
Tough call there. Again, it's not like you expect Cam Newton to put up the numbers that he did. And it's not like the Giants' D has been overwhelming in any regard, but it's tough to leave that on the bench.
Yeah, I just don't know if I could have started the Ravens D. Even, they are the Ravens, but they were playing New England.
It's factually correct. Going into Tom Brady, you just don't want to take that chance.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, let's move on to this week then, shall we?
Let's go.
All right, so we finally broke the trading ice, if you will. Had some big transactions take place this week. I'll let you kick it off with your big trade.
Me and Jared, let's see, what was it? I gave him Matt Schaub and Antonio Brown for Josh Freeman and Mike Wallace. Really what I was going for there was just to strengthen my receiver core. And once I got Wallace, obviously Brown was expendable. I think Schaub is going to help out Jared a lot. I don't think either addition to the team is going to bring a significant change, but it helped us both out, I think.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. And it definitely never hurts to make moves if you see something that you can do. I think you definitely upgrade a little bit at wide receiver. And it doesn't hurt you to downgrade at quarterback because that's your bye-week quarterback anyways.
Yep.
And also, this is just a last-minute addition. Rashard Mendenhall for the Seahawks defense.
Yep.
You might have trade-raped your brother a little bit there, but tell me about that one.
Well, I think I helped him out, really. He's sitting there with playing the Pittsburgh defense. They're not the Pittsburgh defense, we've grown to know over the past 10 years or so. Then he has the Green Bay defense sitting on the bench, and, you just got to scrap those teams. They're not worth it. So, he picked up Seattle. That's going to help him a lot in that category.
Yeah, it's safe to say Green Bay is not the team that we thought they were coming into the year.
Absolutely not.
And Pittsburgh having Palomalu out is definitely hurting them. They're still capable. They could both be playoff teams, but it's not necessarily a defense that you need to own. No. Definitely droppable. So, yeah, he upgrades on defense. I think you're getting a good chance here with Rashard Mendenhall coming back from injury. It's going to be interesting to see what he does from here on out.
Well, he's got a solid court running back with MJD and Reggie Bush right now. So, I don't think he really took much of a hit.
Yeah, he's not giving up anything there. Unless it's just directly to you. He's not going to take a hit there at all.
If you had to pick a winner, I think I'm the winner in that, but not by no large margin or anything.
Well, Steven, this is life, and we do have to pick a winner.
That's right.
So we're going to go with you. All right, so in other news, in the trading block here, Shotgun and myself finally decided to throw down gauntlets and make something happen. Shotgun gave up Dez Bryant, Cam Newton, and the injury-prone Fred Jackson for the fantasy whack-a-mole Jay Cutler, Jamal Charles coming off a huge week, and Michael LaSure. For me, this was actually a pretty tough trade. I had to talk him out of Jake Locker. I really wanted to get rid of Cutler, but I'm giving up Charles and LaSure, who are right now two of my favorite running backs. Granted, I did have a stable of running backs, but it's tough to give up these two. But at the same time, I get a wide receiver that I needed. I get back a decent running back if he comes back to full potential, and Cam Newton giving me a huge upside at QB. So I felt pretty good about it. I think I won this deal, but I think that as far as improvement from what he had before, I think Shotgun still had a great improvement there by picking up running backs.
I think the overall upside as far as from what one team went to what it is now, I think he won in that aspect. As far as better players, I think you got the better end of the deal on that.
Yeah, I think the difference is Shotgun just needs to get a win. I'm trying to get in the playoffs, so we'll see how that goes for him. I wish you the best of luck, Shotgun, with your 76 points per week. So, also, I want to throw out some kudos to Chase for the name change. Armageddon touchdown.
Armageddon touchdown.
has now become Arian Foster Care. Now, I tell you what would make this name make more sense is if you had Arian Foster.
Yes.
It's a good name. I dig it. It gives me a laugh. But if you had Arian Foster when I looked at your team, it would just make more sense to me. I think you need to go out and make a deal. I don't even know who has Arian Foster right now.
That'd be Doug, I believe.
Doug. Doug loves to trade.
Yeah.
He hasn't yet, but he wants to. Someone just has to give him the right offer.
That's right.
So, yeah. Also, it might be helpful if everyone changes their abbreviation to some kind of name. whether it be vagina or whatever you might go by. Just some kind of abbreviation. Fish, Wes, Bow. I didn't realize that you were Bow, Steven, but I guess that works.
Yeah, I try.
Harper, that works for me. The Colts with Indy and Doug, I get that. That works. So you got Shotgun. Thank you. Okay. Just throwing it out there. Let's get into some matchups. What do you say?
Let's do it.
All right. First on the block, let's just keep it real with Shotgun again. A big week here facing Doug. Doug has scored the most points ever, I'm pretty sure, for 1 week. Is that correct? He put up like 200. That
is. Actually, I actually talked to him about it sometime last week, and he had 199. And I was actually going to make him a trophy just for him. 5-star trophy for hitting 200 if he got it. He just come up a little bit short.
Yeah, I think it would be worth it. That would be a huge number to put up for a fantasy week. Although I want to retract a little bit here and go back to Shotgun, since we're still on you anyway. If he manages to go winless for an entire year, does he get some kind of award?
Absolutely. That'd be, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Some kind of shit trophy or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd definitely be.
For those of you that watch the league, you'll understand when I say the Sacco. It's like Shotgun needs his own Sacco just for being terrible. Just completely uncompetitive. Like, thank you for joining the league, by the way. We really do appreciate it. But yeah, so let's break down this matchup. We got Doug and Shotgun. And, yeah, what do you got here, Steven?
For Doug, I believe that Foster's going to be his key player. You know, if he typically does well against Tennessee. If he can do well this week, anything over 20 is going to be huge. And Shotgun, if Kevin Cobb can outscore Alex Smith, that's going to be a big plus for him.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I'm taking Alex Smith for Doug. I think he is going to outscore, but also he's playing against a beat-up Jets defense. He's going to get to go against Joe McKnight playing corner. And I just feel like it could be – I'm not big on Alex Smith, but I think it could be a big day for him. And for Shotgun, I got Adrian Peterson. If he can outscore or even stay close to Arian Foster, he's going to give himself a chance, provided that he actually starts a lineup.
Yeah, that'll help. Kind of got an open wide receiver slot needs to be filled there.
Maybe he can get Jamal Charles in now that he has him. Like, you have running backs now. Congratulations to you for that.
Maybe I'll have to send him one of them corny league manager videos that they got out now.
How to set a lineup, maybe? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. A little tutorial for Shotgun.
It's a video of Justin Tuck yelling at somebody for not setting their lineup. It's pretty hilarious.
It's like the new Terry Tate offensive linebacker.
Exactly.
All right, so our second matchup, we have Jared and Chase. This is one of the games that I want to see the most just because Chase talks so much shit, and it'll be interesting to see the outcome of this game. What do you got here?
For them, for Jared, for one, McCoy has got to play, I think. Play well, I mean. He's going to have to keep up with Rice. I think Rice is going to do well against Cleveland. Philadelphia, that offense is, they're 2-1. Yeah, they beat Baltimore, but there's something not clicking right there with them. He's got to be big, I think, for Jared to do well. And for Chase, I think Colston's going to have a big week. I can really see this Green Bay-New Orleans matchup, 40 points plus for each team. So he'll probably pick up quite a few yards, maybe even a couple scores.
Yeah, I can agree with everything you said there. McCoy, I think, will probably have a big game. He did call O.C. Manura a ballerina this week, so it'll be interesting to see who gets the bigger upside there. I can agree with your offensive concerns for Philadelphia. Of course, being a Fly Eagles Fly fan, I know that we're going to come back. Vic's going to play great, and we're going to move the ball well. We're going to score some points. We're going to beat the Giants. But I'm expecting a big game from McCoy, but I'm going to take Gates in that matchup. Obviously, he's done nothing for this year, but I think it's time against Kansas City that maybe he can come back and really show something and score some points. And for Chase, I'm going to take Andre Johnson having his second big week in a row. So then we move on to me and Jason. Should be an interesting matchup here of 1-win, 2-loss teams. For myself, I'm taking Brandon Lloyd as an impact player here. I'm expecting him to get a ton of targets, just like he did last week. And I think he's really going to be able to rack up some yards against the secondary. And I think he's going to get it into the pay dirt for his first time. And for Jason, he had a nice waiver wire pickup of Sean Hill, taking over for my injured Matthew Stafford. So I'm expecting Hill to have a pretty nice game. And I think if he can get a Stafford-like game, then Jason's going to have a really good chance to take me down.
I think for you, if Ryan Williams can do anything, that'll be a big plus. Miami, not a great team overall, but the most yards they've gave up on the ground this year was to Houston. That was only 85. They might have gave up 2 touchdowns, but they were red zone rushing touchdowns. No long gains to be seen there. So if Williams can pull out a big game, that'd be big. And the big question mark, I think, for Jason is going to be Sean Hill. The backup quarterback is a backup quarterback. There's a reason he's a backup quarterback. So we'll just have to see what he does there.
All right, so now we go on to you versus Josh. Interesting matchup here. What do you think?
This is another 1-2 matchup here. Both of us trying to get to 500, keep playoff hopes alive here. For me, going back to the whole Green Bay New Orleans thing, scoring a bunch of points, I think Rodgers should, if that Green Bay offense is going to make any kind of statement, this is the week they need to do it against the 0-3 New Orleans team. Then Josh, right across the board at Tom Brady, going to Buffalo. Always plays well against Buffalo, so it's probably going to be a lot of points to be had there.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you all the way here. To me, this is a quarterback number 1 matchup across the board. It's 2 quarterbacks playing 2 crappy defenses. You got Aaron Rodgers with New Orleans, like you said. He's going to put up big numbers. Brady against the Buffalo defense. He's just going to shred that. So I'm expecting both of those guys to have huge numbers. And I don't think it's going to really determine the outcome of the game because you're both pretty much going to balance each other out there. But both of those guys are going to have huge games. So finally, we move on to our spotlight matchup of the week. The 2 of the 3 undefeated teams with Fish taking on Marshall. What do you see here?
Let's go with Fish first. If he can get big games, I'm going with 2 players here against the grain. Megatron and AJ Green. If these guys can play big this week, I really think that's going to put Marshall out of reach. Marshall's matchups just don't appeal to me this week, so I think if he can have two big games out of them, he'll be set. And for Marshall, MJD's got to be the man this week. He's got to score 20 plus.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there too. I got Calvin Johnson for Fish. My big reasoning for Calvin Johnson here is that Sean Hill being the backup, they're going to throw the ball. It's just a matter of where's he going to throw it. And I think when you have Calvin Johnson in the huddle and he's saying, give me the ball, I'm pretty sure that you're just going to give him the ball.
Yeah. So
I'm expecting Sean Hill to definitely throw Calvin's way a lot. I would expect at least 15 targets for Calvin Johnson. And I'm thinking he's going to put up over 150 yards in that game. And for Marshall, I agree the matchups aren't great. I don't like RG3 against Tampa Bay, but I feel like that's where the points are going to be for Marshall. If RG3 doesn't have a good day, MJD's not going to be enough to get him the win there. So I'm thinking that RG3 will have to be a big point total, and I think he'll have a decent day, probably with a couple of scores, maybe one on the ground.
All right.
So let's get some predictions going here to end it.
Yeah, we're running out of time, so we kind of need to zip through these predictions real quick. You can go ahead.
All right, well, let's start with Doug and Shotgun. I'm going to go against the grain here, as you like to say, and I'm going to take Shotgun over Doug with his new team. He's going to figure out how to put a lineup together. He's going to put a winner on the field. I'm going to take Shotgun. Jared and Chase, I got to go with Chase here. He's going to stay undefeated as much as I don't want to. Yourself and Josh, I'm going to go ahead and take you in that one. I don't like Josh's team as much. I feel like you have more upside. Me and Jason, I feel like Jason's going to have a good game here, but I feel like my playmakers are going to come through. And for Fish and Marshall, I'm going to go ahead and go with Fish on that. I'm just not digging Marshall's matchups this week.
Yeah, the Doug versus Shotgun matchup, I just don't think that Shotgun is going to pull this one out again. I just think Eli Manning, Arian Foster, if Fitzgerald can put down at least a few points this week, that he's going to be set. I just don't see Shotgun pulling this one out. Jared and Chase, It's a tough one, really, I think. Because personally, I mean, Chase, I think he's got a good team. He's running on a string of good matchups right now. But I'm going to give him the nod in this one. And against you and Jason, I think you've got this one pretty well in the bag. The same thing with myself. I just think my matchups work out really well this week. And in our premier game, I think that Fish is going to pull it out probably by 20-plus points.
Sorry, Marshall. It was a good run for you at being undefeated.
Yeah, but somebody's got to lose.
Yeah. And hey, at least you gave yourself a good chance to make the playoffs either way at 3-0. That's a shit-hot start right there. So I didn't get invited to any dance raves by Chase this week. I don't know about you.
No, I sure haven't. I think my message was clear.
Yeah, maybe he laid off from inviting us, or maybe he should just got lamer on Rutgers right now. Either way, party on, my dance ravers. Get those glow sticks back out, and you party on.
All right, well, that's it for week 4, and I look for some good feedback for this, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.